Lunar life. The stardust touched down on the moon with the precision of a finely tuned instrument. As the landing gear extended, it stirred gentle clouds of gray dust, which floated in the low gravity, creating a delicate halo around the spacecraft. Inside, the crew paused to appreciate the momentous nature of their arrival. Although the moon had become more familiar to humanity over the decades, stepping onto another world still held a profound sense of awe. Once suited up, the crew exited the stardust and set foot on the lunar surface. Above them, the Earth hung in the vast black sky, a tiny blue and white jewel suspended in the void. The sight was breathtaking, a constant reminder of the home they had left behind. Despite the technological advancements that made this mission possible, standing on the moon still felt like a monumental achievement, a testament to human curiosity and perseverance. The team quickly got to work, establishing their base, a network of interconnected domes that would serve as their home for the mission's duration. Each dome was meticulously designed with a specific purpose. One housed their scientific equipment, another served as their living quarters, and a third was dedicated to Dr. Patel's lunar garden. This garden was not just a personal project, but a vital experiment to determine whether crops could be grown in the moon's regolith, a crucial step toward making lunar colonization a reality. Life on the moon followed a steady rhythm of work. Experiments were conducted, data meticulously collected, and each discovery brought them closer to understanding this alien world. The moon's low gravity turned even the simplest tasks into exhilarating new experiences. Every movement, whether a step or a leap, felt like a playful defiance of the forces that governed life on Earth. The crew adapted quickly to their new environment, but not without a sense of wonder. What began as cautious movements soon became a source of joy. They embraced the moon's low gravity, turning routine tasks into moments of levity. Before long, the crew started challenging each other to races across the lunar plains, their laughter filling the silent landscape. One day, while collecting samples, Dr. Cartwright called out to Dr. Delgado with a mischievous grin. "Bet you can't catch me, Delgado," she shouted, her voice crackling through the radio as she gracefully leaped over a small crater. Delgado, never one to back down from a challenge, laughed heartily. "You're on, Ellie?" he replied, bounding after her with long, effortless strides. The two scientists raced across the dusty surface, their movements exaggerated and joyful, like children at play. The rest of the crew watched with amusement, cheering them on, and appreciating the simple pleasures that made life on the moon feel a little more like home. Meanwhile, Leo and Maya were creating their own adventures. The youngest members of the crew, they approached the lunar landscape with the wide-eyed wonder that only those who still held on to the magic of childhood could possess. To them, the moon was not just a mission site. It was a vast, uncharted world waiting to be explored. They spent hours investigating every nook and cranny, their imaginations transforming the barren landscape into a place of limitless possibilities. They discovered rock formations that resembled ancient castles, towering and majestic against the stark backdrop of space. These formations became their strongholds, places where they could pretend to defend against invisible invaders. The moon's craters, deep and shadowy, were transformed into battlefields where they staged epic confrontations, their laughter and playful banter filling the void. In the valleys, they imagined hiding from alien forces, crafting elaborate scenarios of extraterrestrial encounters. For Leo and Maya, the moon was more than a scientific endeavor. It was a playground for their imaginations, where the boundaries between reality and fantasy blurred. They reveled in the freedom the moon offered, unburdened by Earth's constraints. Here, in this strange and beautiful place, they could be anything they wanted: explorers, adventurers, heroes. But as the days turned into weeks, the crew began to feel the weight of their surroundings. The moon, for all its wonder, was also a harsh and unforgiving environment. The air was thin, non-existent, and every breath they took had to be filtered through their life support systems. The temperature fluctuations were extreme, swinging from blistering heat to bone-chilling cold in the span of a single lunar day. There was no atmosphere to protect them from the relentless cosmic radiation, and the ever-present dust, fine as powder, worked its way into every crevice of their equipment. The reality of life on the moon began to sink in. No matter how advanced their technology, they were constantly reminded that the moon was not a place meant for human habitation. Every day was a fight against the environment, a struggle to maintain the delicate balance that kept them alive. The base, though equipped with everything they needed to survive, began to feel more like a fortress against the elements than a home. Dr. Patel's garden, once a symbol of hope and possibility, became a focal point for the crew's frustrations. Despite her best efforts, the plants struggled to take root in the sterile lunar soil. The harsh conditions made it difficult for them to grow, and Dr. Patel faced failure after failure. Each wilted leaf and stunted stem was a reminder of the moon's inhospitable nature. Yet she persevered, determined to coax life from the lifeless ground, her hope never fully extinguished. The crew's spirits began to wane as the novelty of their surroundings wore off. The laughter and races became less frequent, replaced by a growing sense of isolation. The moon, once a place of wonder, began to feel like a prison, its beauty overshadowed by its hostility. The earth, distant and unreachable, became a symbol of everything they had left behind: fresh air, green landscapes, the comforting presence of other humans. As much as they had accomplished and discovered, the crew couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. The moon, for all its stark beauty and scientific value, wasn't a place where they could truly live. It was a stepping stone, a proving ground, but not a home. They knew that if humanity was to survive and thrive beyond Earth, they needed to find a world where they could live without constant fear, without the need for life support systems and protective domes. And so, as they continued their work, their thoughts began to drift further into the cosmos. The moon had shown them what was possible, but it had also revealed its limitations. They began to dream of other worlds, of places where the air was breathable, where water flowed freely, where plants could grow without artificial environments. Finding such a world became more than just a fantasy. It became a necessity, a mission that would drive humanity to explore even deeper into the stars. For Leo and Maya, the youngest and most hopeful of the crew, the moon had been a place of endless possibilities, but they too began to sense its limitations. Their games and adventures, once filled with unbridled joy, became tinged with a longing for something more. They dreamed of a world where they could run and play under an open sky, feeling the sun's warmth on their faces without the barrier of a helmet. The moon had been their playground, but they knew a bigger, brighter world was out there waiting to be discovered. As the mission continued, the crew of the Stardust found themselves looking beyond the moon, their eyes fixed on the distant stars. They had come to the moon to explore, to learn, to push the boundaries of human knowledge. But now, they realized that their journey was far from over. The moon had given them a glimpse of what lay beyond, and it was up to them to continue the search, to find a place where humanity could truly call home. And so, with hearts full of hope and determination, the crew prepared for the next phase of their journey. The moon had been their first step, but it would not be their last. The universe was vast, and somewhere out there, they believed, was a world where they could thrive, a new home for humanity among the stars.